coming to you from my home in New York. When they legalize lawlessness in the name of justice, the ones they fail the most are the ones for whom they supposedly seek justice. Joining me is spokesman for the National Association of Police Athletic Leagues, Jack Brewer. Jack, great to get you on. Thanks so much.
Great to be here, Laura. I'm excited.
So as the movement to defund the police has really taken hold in so many of our great cities across this country, we see, Jack, that the crime rates are skyrocketing. And sadly, the result of all of this is that numerous children have died in some of these shootings. What is your reaction to what we've seen all across our country in some of these major metropolitan cities?
Sadness. When you see, all these families who have to bury their kids, as a father, that's something that you just don't even want to ever imagine. Mothers and fathers across this nation right now are all hurting when you watch it. I remember watching Hannity and just seeing that poor father on the screen. And so, it really tells you what we're facing, what we're fighting. A lot of these things start from within. If you're not willing to call out, things in your own towns or communities, your own homes, but the second a police officer or someone else kills someone, things go up in flames. And so we should have that same anger that we had when we saw that evil police officer put his neck on George Floyd. We should have that same anger when we see these babies in the streets being murdered.
You're right. And it does beg the question, Jack, why isn't there the same anger out there? Why aren't there people out there just as upset about these children being killed, all across this country, or the African-American police officer who was killed trying to stop somebody from looting a friend's store? Why isn't the focus on everyone's life? Why aren't we doing that? And why don't Joe Biden and the Democrats speak out more when it comes to the impact of abortion and fatherlessness on Black America?
It's called convenient social justice. Whenever you pick your social justice causes to fit your political agenda, to me, that's evil. And you said it. I mean, you look across our cities and, states in New York, unfortunately, right where you are right now, Laura, there are more Black babies aborted every year than are born. You look across our nation and, aborting over 20 million Black babies, and you're telling me that you're standing up for Black lives and Black Lives Matter. That's not Black Lives Mattering. They're not brave enough to take a stand for fatherhood. You just read their mission statement. They want to break up the family unit. And that is exactly what's at the core of our problems. And I've said this to the president. We got to do something about this. Our fatherlessness crisis in America right now is at a boiling point. You look across our cities and you look at our kids right now, 20 times more likely to go to prison. Prison. Your kid is 20 times more likely to go to prison if he doesn't have a father in the house. You talk about our public school system and trying to fix that. 71% of kids that drop out of high school are fatherless. And you go to places like Baltimore and Chicago and all these inner cities where kids are dropping out of school. They have no hope because they don't have community centers, Laura. They go to public school systems that are spending $20,000 and $22,000 per year per kid. And at 3:30, they're sending these kids home to communities where they have no positive influence. It's really sad. The media is raising our kids, this rap music that's teaching these kids, how to pull AK-47s and influencing them to go out and see the exact chaos that you're witnessing in our streets. That's coming exactly from the music that's in their ears because they don't have dads that are on top of them whooping their butts like we need to. We need to bring the paddle back to our schools.
Yeah, well, and whenever you see, Jack, all of what has happened and what's transpired really in this country over really the past month or so, you see that there are so many of our young people, especially, I think, that seem to hate this country. It seems like there's an attack on America by not just the left, but by and large, the mainstream media, and it feels like it's almost been indoctrinated in our children in schools. And the president at Mount Rushmore addressed attacks on America, specifically from the left. Watch this.
1776 represented the culmination of thousands of years of Western civilization and the triumph of not only spirit, but of wisdom, philosophy, and reason. And yet, as we meet here tonight, there is a growing danger that threatens every blessing our ancestors fought so hard for, struggled, they bled to secure. Our nation is witnessing a merciless campaign to wipe out our history, defame our heroes, erase our values, and indoctrinate our children.
So, Jack, I don't think that you could have watched the president's message at Mount Rushmore and not have been impacted. I truly think that this was a message of unity, of togetherness, of America, and really was a milestone in his presidency. What did you think about the president's speech there?
Started with his tone. I think he came with a tone of someone who understood what the nation was going through. I think he gave his best effort to help the nation heal. But instead of using the positive things that the president said, the left continues to take anything that they can and use it and twist it to divide us. And Laura, you know I'm a big supporter of President Trump, but I don't agree with everything he says either. His own family doesn't agree with everything he says. They probably can't say it out in public, but who agrees with everyone? And so at what point do you judge someone's job based upon if you agree with everything that they say? Why won't the American public judge President Trump on the job he's doing as president? This man has passed historic policies for every segment of the American population. That is his job. He is not the national preacher. He is not the national spokesman for morality for your families. That's our job in our homes. President Trump's job is to pass policies that are going to help our kids and our grandkids in the future of this nation. And he's done it more than any president that I've ever seen and witnessed. And it angers me to see people belittle what he's actually done on paper. And I'll tell you something else, Laura, when you look and he starts talking about what they're indoctrinating into our children. I work in inner cities and I work in prisons, and I understand really what's at the soul and the root of a lot of our issues. We have completely removed God. We have folks who claim to be Christians, whether they're Democrats or Republicans, but they won't stand in front of the American people and say God, they won't say Christ, and they won't praise Jesus. And that is our problem. We are a nation under God, and we're founded on our Christian principles. Our forefathers moved to this country so that they could praise Jesus and so that they could be Christians and free Christians. And we can't forget what our roots are. And whenever we continue to suppress spirituality in our schools, you're seeing what's happening. There's a reason why kids can go and burn churches. There's a reason why kids can go and throw these cocktails into police cars and burn them. I just left Minneapolis 2 days ago, and it looks like a war zone in parts of Minneapolis. It's sad. And then you see all these kids getting shot. Laura, 104 people being shot in one city in America. That's a war zone. That's right.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't think it's ever been clearer that this election on November 3rd, Jack, is so, so important. It is no longer about right versus left, Democrats versus Republicans. It really is about America. And if you love this country and you want to see this country continue in the manner that we have existed since 1776, then you have to get out and you have to vote on November 3rd for Donald Trump, because the alternative with Joe Biden and the far left radical socialist Marxist Democrats is the end of America as we know it. We see every day the result of the left's policies playing out in cities like Minneapolis, where you just said it, it looks like a war zone, where our children are being gunned down across this country in Democrat-run cities. Never has an election, I think, been more important in modern history than this election we have coming up right now. So I just want to say, Jack, thank you for everything you do, for standing up, for speaking from your heart, for speaking out for this country and this president. We need people fighting every step of the way alongside Donald Trump, and thank you so much for all you do every single day.
Thank you, Laura, and thank you for your prayers. I pray for you. I pray for your family. I pray for this nation. And I encourage all conservatives. Let's start being conservatives. We can't hate the other side. We need to pray for them. Jesus taught us to forgive our enemies, and we need to pray for these people because we see the demonic policies that they're pushing, and we know that it's evil. Let's lock arms and pray again together. God bless you, Laura.
I love it. All right, Jack. Well, thank you so much. God bless you, and we look forward to having you back on with us sometime very soon.
Thank you.
Joe Biden may support lawlessness, but President Trump will always act to defend the rights of all Americans. That's the real news for today. If you'd like to get involved with Team Trump, go to DonaldJTrump.com or download the official Trump 2020 app from the App Store or the Google Play Store. I'm Lara Trump, coming to you from my home in New York. Thanks for joining us, everybody.